L stands for.
Live a life of love.
So if you read in Ephesians 5, verse 1, it says, "Be imitators of God, therefore, as dearly loved children, and live a life of love, just as Christ loved us." So he basically set the example, and to live as the light, which is reflecting God, we also have to love like him.
Mm. And like sometimes it's not easy good to like love others the way God loves them, but if we use Jesus as an example to love others, kay, we may not realize it. I mean, we may not realize what we're doing, but like we're showing love na good without knowing it. So
Comes
yeah,
naturally.
I know, right?
So the next letter is I.
Imitate God.
So once again, in verse 1 of Ephesians 5, it says, "Be imitators of God." If you go to Ephesians 4, verse 24, it says, "Put on a new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness." So we know that in Genesis 1, God also made us in his image. So what better way to be the light than to be more like he who is light, which is to be more like God.
Mm-hmm. And they say na you can't imitate someone if you don't spend time with him or her. So like just like if we want to imitate God, okay, we should know or like set an intention to spend more time with him every day.
So true. So the next letter is G.
So get rid of all things not of God.
So this is going to take a long time if I had to read through the entire book. But if you go through Ephesians 4 to 6, it'll basically talk about which things to hold on to, such as kindness and gentleness, being compassionate and forgiving, and obeying your parents. And then in chapter 6, it talks about wearing the full armor of God. And then it would also talk about what not to do, like not to let unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, not to steal, not to stay angry until the sun comes down. Like there are different rules that God puts in his word for us to follow. And so to be like God, you obviously have to get rid of things that are not like him. Because what pleases God should also please us.
So true. And get rid of things not of God. Like things good now, what might seem acceptable or normal with our and today with our generation. Like it's really a challenge, but when we start to get rid of those things, it feels different.
Yeah.
Like yung mga shows good na that aren't nice
Mm,
and videos.
so true. What doesn't please God shouldn't please us either. So
Mm-hmm.
next we have H.
Holy living.
So in holy living, if we go back to verse 24, it says of Ephesians 4, verse 24. It says, "Put on a new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness." So these are two things that kind of make us feel uncomfortable, like, I'm not righteous, I'm not holy. But the thing is, as
Mm.
a child of God, since you are a child of God and you were
Mm-hmm.
redeemed and saved by Jesus, we are holy and righteous because of him. It's not because of us. So now that we are holy and righteous, we should live as Jesus lived.
Yeah, so like what could I add to that? Like that's so true. Like I think Sheng said everything, but yeah, holy living is a character we have as his children.
Yes. So lastly, we have T.
T. Oh, thankful. Be thankful.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So if you go on throughout the Bible, especially in Philippians, if you guys aren't familiar, we go through Philippians chapter 4 a lot, and it always says
Mm-hmm.
rejoice and then pray with thanksgiving. And basically, if you go throughout the whole Bible, you will see many, not just characters, but people of God who had a thankful heart, and it just changes your perspective and your character, and it helps you focus on God, magnifying God, so that everything
Mm.
else doesn't distract you. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like magnifying. Like I remember one preaching by Stephen for
Verdict.
Yeah. Like we have the power to shift our focus. So when we choose to be more thankful of different situations we are in, no matter how good, like no matter how rough it may seem, okay, we would always find hope in everything and remind ourselves of how God is there for us, even if it may seem like we're in the dark moment of our lives.
Mm.
So yeah.
So there's a lot more we could say, but for you girls, we just wanted to shorten it down because we know busy lives, busy schedules, hopefully not too busy for God.
Yes.
So we wanted to just give a little, this is an acronym, I forgot the exact term, but LIGHT, hopefully, and pray, we will pray for you and for all of us that we will live it out every single day. So thank you for
Yes.
listening and watching. God bless.
Bye bye.